Ladies and gentlemen on YouTube, it's the Natural Born Thriller, and this will not be your 63rd Annual Grammy Award Show review, even though I will do a discussion of that later. And this will be a mini review, thoughts of about the Super Bowl 55, but more importantly, this review will have a lot to do with the Super Bowl Halftime Show, starring The Weeknd, sponsored by Pepsi. And that will be coming later on. But before we do, enjoy this introduction as I present to you this Super Bowl 55 review. Look, you know what that means. So as you all know, I didn't watch the... I'm blinded by the lights. Anyways, but yeah, I didn't watch the 63rd Annual Grammy Award Show from March 14, 2021, which, by the way, this is usual that they do it on around this month, because usually they do it like around January or February, but because of the pandemic that was doing, this is the first ever pandemic that the Grammys has to produce. There's no situation. Now, last year was a close call. That, because that whole thing, the whole thing where it started getting worse with the whole COVID-19 being spread all over the world. Maybe if we should listen to Barack Obama, during that time, when he was president, and then with Donald Trump being president, maybe if you would listen to Barack Obama, maybe this whole thing would never happen. This whole thing that we're in the COVID-19, the whole pandemic thing, where we had indoor, empty arenas with all stuff, not just with music, but also with wrestling and sports and whatever have you. Just saying. But anyways, when it comes to the Grammys, March 14, 2021 was to the 63rd Annual Grammy Award Show from Los Angeles, California. The host was Trevor Noah on the network CBS. Now, if you would have told me that I was going to be able to watch the Grammys, pertains to the Weeknd not being part of it, I would have told you, nope. I probably would have watched it. Now, what I didn't know about during that time, where there's a reason why he was not part of the Grammys in the first place, which I already didn't know about that anyways. But if I didn't know about that whole situation, I would have never watched it. But if I didn't know about that situation, I probably would have watched it. But based on how people reviewed the Grammy Award show of 2021, not one of the best ones. And that is not, and it had nothing to do with what is the thing? I don't know if they were if they had crowds there. No, I mean not the capacity they're hoping for, maybe. But maybe there was some artists that were there too, because they're there to get the awards or whatever. But anyways, yeah, I don't know how, because I didn't watch the show or anything. Or the other thing I did saw was the In Memoriam performance, which I'll get to that when I get to it. So, but if I knew about the whole thing with the Weeknd thing, I would have been, like everyone else, don't watch it. Not just because of the Weeknd not being part of it, but also the show has not been that good over the years anyways. Hell, there may be some good performances and all that, but other than that, the award show itself has been lacking for God knows how long. And pertains to the Weeknd, with the songs that couldn't be nominated in like Blinding Lights, and not even his album, After Hours, his music videos, pertains to After Hours. I'm like, wow, that's really petty of them in a way. In fact, it's not in a way. It is petty of them in a whole lot of ways. But that's not the only thing as well, because the Weeknd was not the only one who slipped out of the whole Grammy Awards as well. Someone by the name of Zayn Malik, and he expressed his feelings about the Grammy Awards. But first, let's look at the Weeknd's expressions, feelings about the Grammy Awards on Twitter. And now, Zayn Malik. Now, on top of that, because the Weeknd was snuffed out a bit, the Weeknd, also delivered this message. Not delivered it on Twitter or whatever, but pertains to the Weeknd doing his own boycotting. Because I started thinking where I was going to boycott the Grammy Awards. I'm not going to watch it because not only the Weeknd was not nominated with what any of his songs or albums or his music videos, but he was not even there to perform. They wouldn't even let him go to perform. Basically, snugging him out of the Grammy Awards shows, not just not nominating his any of his songs or music video or album, but he was not invited. Period. So I decided to boycott. And then the Weeknd, prior before we get to the Grammy Awards, he decided to boycott the Grammys, and this is what he boycotted about.
Like troubled water running cold.
And then we get to what happened during the in memoriam. So I saw a clip of it on YouTube, and I was not a fan of how they did it. Now there may have been more than one, I'm assuming, because they had more than one performer to do it. But this woman, was by the name Brittany Howard. Now also it said guys like Lionel Richie, Brandy Charlie, Chris Martin, someone by the name of Silk Sonic, and the list of songs was Long Tail Sally, Good Golly Miss Holly, which was a tribute to Little Richie, Ladies, which was a tribute to Kenny Rogers. I'm assuming that's what the tributes are for. I Remember Everything, a tribute to John Prine, I'm assuming, and You'll Never Walk Alone, a tribute to to Gary Marsden. Now here's the thing, I don't remember seeing Lionel Richie when I was watching the clip of it on YouTube, unless they cut it short of the clip of it on YouTube. I remember watching it, I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't see Lionel Richie. I didn't see anyone else there. All I saw was Brandy Howard. She was only there singing it, unless they did it separately. And on top of that, the list of artists they have there, for this in memoriam. I'm like, saying, wait a minute, where's Eddie Van Halen? Where's Naya Rivera? And a couple of others. Because based on what I saw, the way they did it though too, I was not a fan of how they did it. Because usually when they always do it, they always show, full screen images of those that passed away. They did it in a way where they just show the performer, and they show pictures of like some kind of big screen they had up there, like, and they kept just the way they did it. I was like, oh my god, that was terrible. The performance of Brandy Howard, she was good. She was good. Her voice was great. Her performance was but there was no big problem with that. The problem was the advertisement of it, how they presented the performance, with the whole in memoriam thing. Here are a list of others they left out too. Again, based on how I saw it on the clip of YouTube. I could be wrong, because I didn't watch the Grammy show. Only whoever who watched my video right here, pertains to this segment. Only you could tell me if they did that or not. But Naya Rivera from Glee, who played Santana Lopez. Remember how she died? She saved her son's life due to her putting her son on board while she drowned. Where was her image? Where was her graphic? They did with Queen Monteith, a while back, years ago. what, 2014? Because I think in 2013 he died, right? But either way, they did an image for him. And remember how he died, right? He died by overdosing because of the substance abuse that he went through. So you tell me, and there's no disrespect to Corey because it was unfortunate that he died too. But you gotta put him in there, to pay homage, because he's a great guy and everything. And it's unfortunate he's gone. But someone like Naya Rivera, who sacrificed her life to save her son's life, where it shouldn't have happened either way, and yet they don't even acknowledge her. But anyways, Benny Mar Duns was also not included. Hal Ketchum, I'm assuming that's how I say it, Riley Gale, and Frankie Banali, I'm assuming that's how I say it too. And wow. And this isn't the first time they've done this before. Remember Christina Gimme? In 2017, they didn't include her. And I thought that was very disrespectful and poor taste, bad taste in their mouths for that. Fans were outraged because of that. I don't blame them. I wasn't that big of a fan of Christina Gimme. She was great, she was talented and all that, but I never really got the opportunity to really become a fan of hers after her thing with The Voice. When she was being coached by Adam Levine from Maroon 5. But I remember they didn't even include her. And I said to myself, wow. Maybe it was a mistake on that part and all that. But after this, they only please someone that only matters, which is ridiculous. Again, that's just my theory about this whole thing. If you're gonna do this whole in memoriam, include everyone. And yes, there's some behind the scenes that we don't know of either. What pertains to what they've done behind the scenes of the music business, what pertains to them being songwriters and music engineers and all that. They include them, but they don't want to include those people as well. What pertains to that were on the big screen, that were on our TV screens and all that, and we know what how good they are, and we know how talented they were. What pertains to the music business. And then we get to an AEW wrestler, Chris Jericho. And it has something to do with Eddie Van Halen. Fans were criticizing the Grammys because, and also former bandmates and other figures within the hard rock and heavy metal community who felt the brief seconds long tribute was insulting to the guitarist's influence and legacy. But again, I remember I didn't watch it at the time, but Van Halen's son, Wolfgang Van Halen, revealed that he declined the whole offer to play one of the songs called I'm trying to remember how it's pronounced. Erpson? Erpson? But that's a good song either way. It's just a guitar solo in a way. So, I mean, yeah, it is in a way a guitar solo. But yeah, there was a lack of respect for Eddie Van Halen of this tribute because unfortunately he passed away too. And Chris Jericho, this is what he tweeted to the Grammys. Which that was hilarious. Just everything that Jericho tweeted on the internet, especially. Yeah, don't even try to nominate me protest to the to Fozzy, and all that. I like so he's doing the Weeknd phase here now, because the Weeknd did the first the whole boycott and the Grammys of don't nominate my songs in the future ever again and everything. Which I don't blame the Weeknd, and I definitely don't blame Chris Jericho with regards to his band Fozzy, turning them either, pertains to basically boycotting the Grammy, saying don't you ever nominate any of my songs, even though they never really nominated your songs in the past to begin with, which is funny. Ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. But anyways, yeah, there you go, folks. Let's get to who won the awards too, by the way. So Justin Bieber, alongside with Dan plus Shay, won a Grammy Award, and it pertains to Best Country Duo and Group Performance. That's what it was. The country category for it. So yeah, Justin Bieber finally won a Grammy Award. He was nominated 4 times? He represents pop? Something like that. I don't know. It's something like that. Pop, whatever. It's whatever. He's not country. He ain't country, which I find it funny. So the only way he can win a Grammy Award is with someone that he's paired up with, and it's a singles, by the way. Pertains to along with Dan plus Shay, and it was a country song and a singles country song, and Justin Bieber finally won a Grammy Award. So yay, all right, finally Justin Bieber finally won a Grammy Award, even though it took him about years to finally win a Grammy Award. Yeah, he finally won a Grammy Award. Props to him. Give him a pat on the back and all that. Oh wow, great. Let's compare it to anyone else winning more Grammy Awards than him, which, by the way, they won them on their own. Justin Bieber's songs, Yummy, didn't win. This other song he had, I don't know what it was, didn't win. And whatever else his Grammy Award got, didn't win either. And guess what? It's all pertains to Justin Bieber doing obviously he has help too on all, but still, pertains to him being the focal point. It tells you right there, Justin Bieber can't win the war on his own because he sucks. He's not a big deal as some people make him out to be, or even what he's making himself out to be. Of course, he's got paired up with Dan plus Shay, who has won Grammy Awards before. So this ain't the first rodeo winning Grammy Awards. They did them before. Unfortunately, they have to share it with Justin Bieber now. At least the Weeknd won Grammy Awards on his own. Just saying. But anyways, I'm not gonna go too long with this. I'll just go tell you a couple. Her, Phineas, Billie Eilish, Fiona Apple, excuse me. They won 2 Grammy Awards. David Frost and Megan Thee Stallion, excuse me. They won 3 awards. Beyonce, she was nominated in 9 Grammy Awards, and she only took home 4. Basically, she won the most Grammy Awards. And there were others too that won, but I'm not gonna go through that whole thing. Taylor Swift won Grammy Awards though, so good for her. Other than that, I'm not gonna go through the entire thing, really, because I really don't care about the Grammys anymore.
Before you go.
And after everything that's happened with Weeknd being snugged out, even though I don't know who the same Malik is, or since what he does, with him being snugged out like that, and how they did the whole in memoriam and the lack of respect they show of paying homage to Eddie Van Halen, which by the way one of my favorite bands, Van Halen. But based on everything that happened from there, just back to the whole thing in the memoriam, where they excluded a couple of other artists that they include in there, but they include some ones that some people don't even know who they are. Now people know who Kenny Rogers are. It's unfortunate that he's gone, but like what about the rest? Unbelievable, unfreaking believable. Ooh, I'm burning by the lights again. Fuck the Grammys. I'm gonna pick out the trash. And that will do it for the 63rd Grammy Awards, which is to my thoughts about the whole thing and move forward of the Grammys overall. Which, by the way, shout out to Jordan Williams because he thought of this, what I saw in the comments from my recent videos pertains to the Grammys. The scammies. I love that. Great job, Jordan, man. You're very clever with all these things. So, props to you. But yeah, but that's what we'll go from now on. Thanks a lot, Jordan. The scammies. And now let's get to the Super Bowl 55 from February 7th, 2021. First off, by talking about the national anthem that was performed by Jasmine Sullivan and Eric Church, where it pertains to the ASL performer who is deaf. Well, in a way, well, he is deaf, but also a deaf writer, a deaf rapper, and a deaf performer. Warner Snipe. And I thought he was, you know, a big influence, big star, focal point of it pertains to Jasmine Sullivan and Eric Church singing the national anthem, which they did on their parts too. They did a great job. And they nailed it right out the park pertains to, you know, singing the national anthem. By the way, you know, the Super Bowl 55 was at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay, Florida. Excuse me. Or I should say Tampa. But anyways, with the attendance of 24,835 in attendance, that's the best takeoffs it had to do because, you know, pandemic. This is the first time the Super Bowl has to endure, you know, the pandemic because of COVID-19. So they did the COVID-19 protocols, you know, for safety. They had also sound effects too, where it tends to you know, crowds noise and all that, you know, practicing chants and everything over, you know, that whole thing. But nevertheless, that's what happened. Now, as far as the game itself, from the first two quarters, you know, the first quarter, the second quarter. Yes, yeah. Let's get to the teams, by the way. I'll forgot to mention the teams. Yeah, it just shows how much I care about the Super Bowl this year. But it was the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, Kansas City with 3, and the Tampa Bay with 7. I'm talking about the first quarter. The second quarter, the Kansas City with 3, and Tampa Bay with 4. You know, returns to the scoreboard. And now let's get to the halftime, which, by the way, my favorite part of them all, the halftime show, starring, you know who, The Weeknd. So then we begin with the Super Bowl halftime show, starring The Weeknd, sponsored by Pepsi. And the introduction was basically all the lights turning on. You see basically nothing but Las Vegas vibes with it, along with the Pepsi logo, welcome, and all that. Basically, that's the theme that we've seen a lot in Las Vegas. You know, even if you've been there or even if you've seen it on TV. all of a sudden you see the Weeknd coming out of his car. Basically, he starts off in his car coming out. He's wearing his usual outfit, the one I'm wearing right now, sunglasses, with the suit tie, and pertains to the red blazer jacket. By the way, it was not an ordinary red blazer jacket. Red blazer. It was filled with rubies, which weighed 40 pounds. So basically, performing in it, carrying it, the performance, obviously with the rest of the performance too, which we'll get to when we get to it, where it pertains to, carrying this whole performance on his back, 40 pounds, and you gotta imagine how hard that was for the Weeknd to perform that way, and kudos to him for that. So he comes out, he sits on the edge of the stadium. All of a sudden, the introduction starts singing. It was the chorus singing, "Call out my name," and we see him being lowered down. He's in a white robe. He's going down to the rest of the chorus, all also in white robes, and they're in the city. Basically, that's how it looked like. It was like a city, the position they were all in. As we get ready to start the center stage for the Weeknd, so he finally shows up on stage as they do numbers of Starboy. Before I get to that performance of Starboy, just want to say it pertains to the whole "Call Out My Name" introduction they did there. They showed the way it was shot, the Raymond James Stadium, which was brilliant the way it was shot too, with the chorus coming down and everything. It was awesome, and it also showed where the Weeknd was. So obviously he was right on top of the stadium. It was amazing. The Weeknd will do those sort of things. If he didn't see the VMA performance that he did back in 2020, on the rooftop, yeah, he'll take that type of risk to perform and entertain all of us. So then, don't get the Starboy. He's performing, and basically, he's doing his dance moves and all that, like Michael Jackson. Already getting some Michael Jackson vibes there, and he's doing his thing, and you got the chorus singing, and doing that thing, and the Weeknd is doing his thing too. He's doing a little bit of highness too now, and yeah, he was really nailing it, because he's a motherfucking Starboy. I mean, look what you done, Grammys. I'm a motherfucking Starboy. That's the point too. Before I move on, the fireworks already fireworks. Sure enough, it's been done a thing times with the Weeknd's performances. Again, from the VMAs, and then there was from the AMAs, American Music Awards. So Weeknd was pulling it all out in there. And we'll get to more change to this whole performances too. A little tiny details of it, or a chance to it. But nevertheless, we move on to the next performance. Okay, so this is the part where I started noticing that when the chorus was on the separate sides of the stage, while the Weeknd is in the center and all that. All of a sudden the lights are signed up, because this is the introduction for The Hills. That was the next song, and it's lighting up, and that's where I realized, so they're basically like in the city. So that was cool. And then the Weeknd, has this mic stand, and he's singing. And basically, what I got from that was, that's basically the same way, where it changes to the mic stand, or him singing, to the camera. It goes back to the "Can't Feel My Face" music video. That's how the Weeknd, started that music video of "Can't Feel My Face" because of the mic stand, and he's singing to us, as he's looking at the camera. And a little minor note there, that's my first ever music video that I ever seen of the Weeknd because of the song "Can't Feel My Face." So, actually, if you want to say my first ever time seeing him in music video was with Ariana Grande of "Love Me Harder." But besides that, but that's basically just my notes there where it to that whole thing. So as the Weeknd's performing, you see the choreographers are dancing, putting their hands together like they're praying, and they're dancing at the same time, which is pretty cool. I enjoyed that part. And the Weeknd, is rocking the mic and everything, saying, "I only call you when it's half past. For the only time that I'll be by your side. You know, he's keep going and everything. And all of a sudden, he starts going into, you know, to the entrance that he came out of, and he goes right in there because he's going for the next performance, where he's in the room of maze of bright lights, mirrors. That's basically what it looked like while he's holding the camera. That's, you know, that's basically it doesn't show him holding the camera, but you could tell he was holding the camera based on how the position was and how it was done. And he's got the microphone and all that. By the way, I'm pretty sure you remember the memes, by the way, the memes and gifs about the Weeknd walk into a room where, you know, doing this. So he did that, and he starts singing, you know, and I know she'll be the death of me, at least we'll both be numb. Basically, it's some business performance. Can't feel my face, which he was doing a good job with that one too. He just keeps singing as he's got you know, the microphone and the camera, you know, in his hand, and all of a sudden, and then he gets to that, you know, to the part where he's singing, we both know we can't go without it. She told me you'll never be alone. And he starts backing up. Sorry about that. And then all of a sudden, you know, the camera's back to the cameraman, and all of a sudden, out of different directions of different size of, you know, of this mirror, you know, a maze mirror that's light up and everything. A group of you know, people in bandages, you know, just like the Weeknd, and they're, you know, obviously they're the performers, and they're all going crazy, you know, going, and they, you know, 'cause they can't feel the face and everything, you know. I can't feel my face when I'm with you, but I love it, and they're all dancing and everything. So basically, what I got from there was I got some Lady Gaga vibes because of that. And by the way, when it comes to the bandages, you're probably wondering what's with the bandages. If you've been paying attention, it's based on the music video of the Weeknd called "Too Late," where it tends to these two women got plastic surgeries done, which is why they had the bandages, and where it tends to the bandages and all, you know, was decided with the Weeknd wearing bandages. Well, the Weeknd was wearing bandages back at the American Music Awards, you know, the AMAs, as he was performing the songs "In Your Eyes" and "Save Your Tears," and that's basically what it was. And yeah, that was pretty cool. Seeing all that, you know, that these performers are all in bandages because, you know, they're all, obviously they have plastic surgery, or either that or they got their faces beaten up badly. This is in the Weeknd's you know, way. His face was beaten up badly because, you know, he was getting beaten up back in the music videos of Playing Lights. So but it was good though. I was seeing all that. And again, and the reason I give me Lady Gaga vibes because, you know, this is the type of things I will see from Lady Gaga with her performance and on top of the music video too. So since it's Too Late, obviously it gives me Lady Gaga vibes. And then since the Weeknd, he does these type of things too. You know, before the Too Late music video, since him bleeding and all that, and some other things are happening, some weird stuff happening, reminds me of Lady Gaga too. The Lady Gaga is like that. So in a way, the Weeknd is basically the male Lady Gaga, or in this case, he's the gentleman Gaga. Yeah, and that was corny. But at the same time, it also gave me some Michael Jackson vibes too. Once again, more Michael Jackson vibes because the Weeknd, I'm pretty sure y'all actually know this. The Weeknd is Michael Jackson's biggest influence, besides Prince and besides Whitney Houston. So, and after the Weeknd, you know, and he's performing with all these bandages performers, all of a sudden, you know, he was gone. Like, where is he? Well, I'll tell you where he went. So, as we still seeing these bandages people, you know, going crazy in the room, all of a sudden, we go to another performance by the Weeknd. As we hear audio of Daft Punk, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, are they there? Unfortunately, there wasn't. Due to the pandemic, you know, I'll get to more of that detail later on, but obviously because of the pandemic, you know, it was impossible to do it for you know, Daft Punk. But I'll get to more details of that too. About, well, not more details, but just tiny details of it. But you know, that'll be safe for later. But the Weeknd, you know, he's walking on, you know, he's on top of the other buildings, by the way, where the choruses are at. The chorus, I meant to say, the choruses are at. And, you hear that one. I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming, babe. And then we can start singing. He starts singing his notes. His songs. You don't really have to. Trying to remember how it goes again. I always listen to Weeknd, so I should know. But anyways, there are also the fireworks going off. Just a few, and then also in the Weeknd is performing. Tell me what you really. Oh yeah, there you go. Tell me what you really like. Maybe I could take my time. And then he keeps singing. You've been scared of love and what it did to you. You don't have to run. I know what you would do. You should know the rest of it. And then once he starts getting to that part, he's like, I feel it coming. As he's turning around, all of a sudden we get more powers coming up, and then you also audio you hear that one. I feel it coming, baby. I feel it coming. And he's doing Michael Jackson dance. Once again giving me more Michael Jackson vibes, and it was pretty awesome that the Weeknd is nailing it. With his vocals and just nailing with a couple of dance moves. He's not that much of a dancer, but he tends to do Michael Jackson dance moves, which is easy to do either way. Just the way it's being presented. He's really doing it. He's doing a great job. All of a sudden we move on to the next performance. Save Your Tears. As we hear the bass player playing his bass and wearing the sparkling mask, the same sparkling mask. Maybe it's not the original. Maybe it is the original. Who knows? But either way, it was the same sparkling mask that was seen from the music video "Save Your Tears," which is the next performance. Save your tears for another day. So and we got fireworks going off too and everything, and you also have the performance in the city, in different outfit now, because at first they were wearing white robes. So you see them wearing suits. They're all black suits, And they're dancing and everything as Weeknd singing, I don't know why I run away. I'll make you cry when I run away. The whole save your tears for another day. Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, awesome performance too from there too. And the performance by the way, all the choruses. Speaking of the choruses too, by the way, the next performance we got to was Earned It. And how they started off with that intro, the violin. They're all playing the violin, and wow, it basically went. It was awesome. So we get more of Michael Jackson vibes from the Weeknd. Where he started doing some dancing steps and all that, and everything to do is his singing, right on cue and all that. And he was doing a very good job with it. He's already getting into the flow and all that. He's really getting into it. Now, at first he was like, it was a little rough at first, but then also he really started getting into it. He really started really turn up a notch. And he really started turning up a notch once we got to the finale of it, which we'll get to. So as he's singing, and you also have the choruses. They're also singing too, singing. So I love we call unexpected, 'cause I hate when the moment expected. And we can start get his words in. I'ma care for you. I'ma care for you, yeah. And he's really getting to it by singing. 'Cause girl, you're perfect. You're always worth it, and you deserve it. The way you work it, yeah, I earned it. And he's really starting to get into it, with the song, as he's doing his steps. And then he hits the high note, where since the very close up the song of Earned It, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then he's like one more time and everything, and he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And the spotlight, by the way, the way the spotlight lighting of it, the way it was done, once again giving me more Michael Jackson vibes. Also during Prince in it too, because that's the type of thing that I see what Prince does too. But that was awesome. Just plain awesome vibes there. Michael Jackson and Prince. Then we get to the next performance, which was on the field. And the next performance was House of Balloons, Glass Table Girls. And what we saw on the field was the bandages, performers. The same ones from, I mean, not all of them were in that room, but, a few of them joined along on the field. And there you see about what? Oh my God, like, there had to be about 100 of them down there. And they were dancing and all that. And basically when I saw that, it gave me Michael Jackson vibes. Once again, Michael Jackson vibes. What kind of Michael Jackson vibes? It gave me Michael Jackson vibes of They Don't Care About Us. Just the way they were doing the steps and everything. The choreographic steps and all that. It just reminds me of They Don't Care About Us. And they're all in their suits and everything, and all bandaged up and all that. And they're doing the thing. And meanwhile, with the gloves, with a LED circle bright light, like lighting up the and like holy cow, like that was incredible. And they're doing this whole thing, like it was pretty amazing. Oh, and that whole thing reminds me of Mustafa Ali. If you remember, Mustafa Ali used to do that before, but now he's in Retribution. Well, speaking of wrestling, we're seeing to also vibes. Besides Michael Jackson vibes, we're seeing to the Red Blazer at the weekend, and the rest of the performers were doing that too. The red jacket also reminds me of Sting back in the 1980s when he was Joker Sting. Shout out to you, Ren. Anyways, I'm pretty sure he's watching. So. But anyways, so again, Michael Jackson vibes, sports since They Don't Care About Us. There's just reminiscences of it. And on top of that, with the bandages and everything, right back to Lady Gaga vibes, the Gaga vibe. And all of a sudden, once they start doing their routines, all of a sudden they start marching. And that meant one thing: the weekend was coming. And he did. He was on stage too. I mean, on the field too, I meant to say. But as they're marching, they're doing this. And that, we're just marching, the way it was done too, and the way they was doing the heads, and like, stepping the heads like this, and like, that reminds me of The Lion King. If you remember the performance of Scar, Be Prepared, with the hyenas marching, basically the hyenas come out of nowhere, and they're marching. And then they're marching and they're doing this. As they're marching. Like, holy cow. And also, I'll learn this one too. Returns to the marching thing, reminds me of March of the Wooden Soldiers. That old school movie that I love watching as a kid. That's the type of vibe got me too. So yeah, as this is going on, all of a sudden the Weeknd shows up and he's dancing, and singing, returns to just the song of House of Balloons, and you get the performers, doing different type of dancing, returns to while they still marching, doing this. Again, giving me more Michael Jackson vibes, and returns to everything that the Weeknd was doing, leading the charge in a way, gives me Thriller vibes of Michael Jackson. I'm like, oh my God. And then not just that, but I also feel, because of the suits and all that, gives me a vibe of Smooth Criminal and Dangerous. Also, the Weeknd starts popping up on the crowds and everything, and he's popping himself up and all that, and he's doing his own crazy dance that he his crazy drunk dance that he did from the Mississippi Blinding Lights, and then finally it leads to the next performance, which I mentioned Bright Lights. But before he gets up one, he starts pulling his arms like this, and he's walking, doing this, both arms stretching, both out, like Michael Jackson. More Michael Jackson vibes. And then we get to the final song of the night to close it up. One of the the top Billboard's 100, number 1. Blinding Lights. So as that plays, Blinding Lights, I start playing. These bandaged performers, these bandaged performers, they're all going crazy, dancing. And while that's going on, Pyro's going off out of nowhere. And the Weeknd, he starts getting into it. I've been trying to call, and that's the the performers they stop and they start doing this, and they start doing some dance routines and all that, and and then also again the line up of the glove, the LED circle light, and they're starting doing this, leaning sideways. Reminds me of what tends to leaning, the leaning position. Smooth Criminal, once again, give me more Michael Jackson vibes. What tends to the way the dance is being presented and being choreographed. So, and again, you got more powers keep showing up while all this going on. Goes right back to the VMA performance and the AMA performance with all these pyros for the weekend. And as he's singing, since the city is cold and empty, no one's around to judge me. I can't see clearly when I'm gone. And I said, ooh, and as he's singing that part, you got the guys, the performances, running around in circles, running around in circles while the weekend's in the middle, and the rest of the performers, are just standing, and they move their arms and hands too, and as Weeknd's singing, ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. And then we get to the part where he's singing, and I say, ooh, and they start doing this, moving their arms like this. Every performer, the bandages performers. And Weeknd, he's going, and we get to the him, shouting out, Tampa Bay, and the crowd's going nuts. And the rest of the performers are doing their thing. They're doing their own thing. Weeknd, keep playing high notes. Baby. And more powers keep going off until the skull crusher finale to end it. Ooh, I'm blinded by the lights. No, I can't sleep until I feel your touch. As the camera was zooming into him, while the performers were just standing, and all of a sudden it zooms into him, and we don't see the performers because the camera is not showing them. They're zooming right into the Weeknd, and after he's done hitting that note, pulling his arm out, once again both arms stretched out, and as it's zooming back, it's zooming out. All of a sudden we see the performers all laying down. I'm like, wow, that right there gave me dangerous vibes. What tends to the dangerous performance that Michael Jackson has done in his History World Tour, and what tends to his Dangerous World Tour 2, or tends to setting set it tours that they do, or tends to the second leg or whatever. But the point is, that's the type of performance we see too, where it tends to the dangerous performance. Or Michael Jackson, what tends to, when he's done with singing the song, all of a sudden they all drop dead. And that's what happened right here when they ended. They all dropped dead. Every all those performers with bandages on, all dropped dead. After the Weeknd walks away, and the whole walking away thing reminds me of Smooth Criminal. Again, from the live performances of Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal, when they all being shot at by machine guns, and they're all laying down dead while Michael Jackson was unharmed, and he walks away. The body, and there's nothing but bodies there. That's the vibe I got from the Weeknd there. Awesome. So when it comes to the arms being stretched out, basically that's the question finality part, where that's how Michael Jackson ends his performance, where it tends to him performing Man in the Mirror, because where it says Man in the Mirror, that's how I always see Michael Jackson ends his performance, by stretching his arm out, like so. So overall, the performance of the Weeknd, I'm very proud of him. He did a great job. Where it tends to get that spot where the NFL wanted the Weeknd to perform for the halftime show for Super Bowl 55. He should be honored. He should be privileged, which I know he is. For someone who spent $7 million for this performance itself, and on top of that, for what tends to his his After Hours album, pertains to during the whole thing where it's been out for a year now, before the pandemic got worse. and for everything that he did to keep his fans active and all that, and to keep them in good spirits, during the lockdown from last year, with his music videos and all that, and everything he did pertains to everything he presented on YouTube, on his channel, on VO, whatever have you, to take care of us during these times, and to keep our spirits up and all that, and to really keep our heads up, to really to get our minds off of things that's harming us. And on top of that, with him spending his own money to charities, since the COVID-19 and other projects too, he is one of the greatest of all time. I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna fast it right now. The Weeknd is the greatest of all time in the music business. From a guy who came homeless to where he's at right now, for getting his opportunity on the grandest stage of them all, on the halftime show for the Super Bowl. You don't get those type of things, out of the blue. That's a once in a lifetime thing that you can never ever receive. And the Weeknd got that because the NFL, CBS, given that opportunity to do it. Of course, it was up to him, and I'm glad he made a decision. Fuck the Grammys. So, for everything that the Weeknd has done, the success that he got, a blessing, and I will always be a fan of the Weeknd. Now, with that being said, the performance itself was great. It was all great. But would have been better, if the pandemic wasn't effective of this whole thing. Would have been better if we would have seen Daft Punk show up, if we would have seen Ariana Grande show up, maybe even a Kenny G showing up, with a chance to playing his saxophone, or maybe his clarinet, because the list of songs that we got, maybe the reason why we got the list of those songs that we got, instead of get the ones that we wanted that could have been presented here, maybe we could have gotten our Ariana Grande appearance, where they could have done a duet of "Love Me Harder," and we're chance to Daft Punk, doing their things with the Weeknd of "I Feel It Coming," and Starboy, because they're also part of that too, and we're chance to Kenny G, where he, the "In Your Eyes" could have been added into there, but because he couldn't be there, and for obvious reasons too, because of all the protocols of COVID-19, Weeknd had to do it all by himself, along with other performers too, unknown performers, that we don't know of, but they all did a great job. They all did a splendid job. They all did the parts, while the Weeknd carried it, with his 40-pound ruby red blazer. So imagine those appearances of Ariana Grande, Kenny G, and Daft Punk if this pandemic wasn't going on. But because that wouldn't have been perfect. But because of his performance itself, while we're in this pandemic, the Weeknd, he still nailed it. He nailed it right out of the park. He hit the field goal. Or should I say, he kicked the field goal. So that was a touchdown. Oh God, I'm getting corny here with this. But those were the only, a couple of details I want to bring up to, or since this whole thing, because again, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity that doesn't come around. So I'm glad that he capitalized on that opportunity to perform at the Super Bowl halftime show, because that is way bigger than any Grammy award show, and bigger than any Grammy award that the Weeknd. He's got 3 of them, but doesn't but he already latched out on Twitter and all that about his frustrations and all that, and boycotting and and based on what he did on his music video, Save Your Tears, taking a direct shot at the Grammys too and all. So yeah. The Grammys can go fuck themselves and go straight to fucking hell. But the point is, The Weeknd showed that he doesn't need to be part of the Grammy show. He doesn't even need the Grammys to make it, because he already did. He's already made it. So there you go. And props to Jennifer Lopez for being there at the Super Bowl, by the way, where thanks to watching the game along with her ex-boyfriend, A-Rod. During the time they were a couple until they broke up recently. But that's besides the point. The point is, Jennifer Lopez was there in support of The Weeknd, and she loved that performance too. She may took like a selfie, whatever, a camera selfie, a video or a photo, whatever. I'm pretty sure I saw a video of it and all. And Jennifer Lopez was either she did a selfie or A-Rod was just recording. Either way, Jennifer Lopez was really into it. So shout out to Jennifer Lopez for showing support to The Weeknd. And now with that all the way, which great overall. The Weeknd should be very proud, and I am very proud. So we continue on with the rest of the game. The other half of the Super Bowl. So Kansas City with 3 and Tampa Bay with 10 were changed to the third quarter, and finally the fourth quarter, 0 for Kansas City and 0 for Tampa Bay. But the adding up the scores, Kansas City Chiefs with 3 from the last 3 quarters, plus 0 obviously, equals 9 points. And we're to Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 7, 14, 10 from all 3 quarters, plus on the fourth quarter with 0 equals 31. So your winners were the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And who was a part of the Buccaneers? Tom Brady, who was the quarterback, who was the MVP, and you have also other teams as well, like what's his name again? Rob Gronk. Oh yeah, that's right. How can you forget about Rob Gronkowski? The Gronk. Obviously those other teams as well. That was part of the Buccaneers. I'm not gonna get into that because that just shows you how much I care about the Super Bowl this year. I didn't care about either teams, and I especially didn't care about Tom Brady winning another Super Bowl, which good for him though. This time he didn't win the Super Bowl with the cheaters known as the New England Patriots. Just saying. So that's my thoughts about the Super Bowl. Didn't really care about the Super Bowl, but that's not here or there. I digress. But that's my thoughts about the Super Bowl. The only thing I care about the Super Bowl, and by the way, I also want to say this too, where it comes to the commercials. That's my commercials for me to talk about anyways. Some of it I missed and everything, because to be honest with you, I didn't care about the Super Bowl at all, period. All I care about was one person only where it comes to the Super Bowl, and that was the halftime show featuring The Weeknd. And to me, that was the best thing of the weekend of Super Bowl during that time, was the Weeknd of his halftime show. That's the only thing that I care about. That was the best thing that happened on there. The rest of it was not doing it for me, because again, if it was a team that I care for, I would care for it. But because I don't care about either teams, especially I don't care for Tom Brady. So there you go. Before I end this, based on everything that has happened with the Grammys, especially what happened from the 63rd annual show, now I'm really going to be boycotting them, and really boycotting them or things not watching their shows ever again. This is more than just The Weeknd. It's a lot more than The Weeknd this time. But based on that, never ever again in the future I will ever watch the Grammys. VMAs, I will. AMAs, I will. iHeartRadio and VO, and whatever other awards that will include the Weeknd there, instead of snugging him out. I'll watch those shows that are way more important than any Grammy show. But thank you for watching. First time watching, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell for more future contents. For example, your favorites and mine. Taking out the trash series. So you all stay well, stay safe, take care of yourself, everything that's going on in the world. Wear your mask, wear your gloves. Before you wear gloves of any kind, make sure your hands sanitize your hands, or any liquid soap of any kind to prevent any type of germs, especially during these times where it pertains to COVID-19, because we're still in this pandemic. To protect all others of your surroundings by respect and be better. But also, I want you all to love one another, God bless one another, live in peace and harmony for us all. And also, for all you supporters, you know what to do, hit the like button. And for all you haters, you know what to do, because you're my motivation, hit the dislike button. Either way, thank you for spending your time along with me, Natural Born Thriller, as I try to give you the absolute best content with the Orange Cassidy Dumb Soap Weekend style. There you go. Also, go into my description box for any information you want to know about me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, whichever you can find, it's all in there. So I'm out here, ta-ta for now, for this Natural Born Thriller, saying peace on the streets. Take care.